Hey everybody, it's me, Kenny K, the dude follower. I'm in my dude mood. Um, and I've got a dude stackler uh, review. Night of the Reaper. I always want to say Night of the Creep. Night of the Reaper is a recent movie from 2025. Gets a 5.9 on IMDb. It gets a 5 from me, uh, directed by Brandon Christensen, and he's also made a movie called Superhost, and that's also a horror movie, and it's got my eye. Now, before I start, like, comment, subscribe. It's all free. It's all free. No worries. No worries. Um, you've got Jessica Clement playing our lead, yeah, our lead girl Dina. She has a sister Emily, and then you have the male lead is Ryan Robbins. He plays Sheriff Arnold. Then you have Forest Ranger Elizabeth. You've got oh, and Willis Chad, boy, not boyfriends, but BFFs, best friends forever. Yeah. Now, this movie is a slasher movie, but there are not a lot of kills. For people who want to see a gore-infested movie, you're not gonna get that. And even the kills are kinda tame. This movie really wants to concentrate on the atmosphere, the creepiness, and also it plays in the 80s, and it really got the 80s charm that it wanted, with that sheen over the camera and the clothes that they're wearing. And there's a moment in the beginning of the movie, Emily, when she's singing on this 80s song, and she's really singing. I was almost it almost felt like that song that came back from Stranger Things. I'm running up that hill. I made a deal with God. uh, yeah, it kind of reminded me of that. And she's standing there dancing with her headphones on. It was fun. But she does not know that the Reaper is filming her. So that's basically going on. So the Reaper likes to film his victims before they die and when they're gonna die, when they're captured and killed by the Reaper. So she's getting all these. The Reaper is already in the house, and that makes it scary. And you see things being moved, things being out of place. Eventually, she gets caught, and we don't see if she dies or not. That's for later, when they find the video. It's a little bit of found footage esque too, because the sheriff gets a lot of tapes, and it's almost like a scavenger hunt. He has to go to multiple places to find a tape, again a tape, again a tape. And he lost his wife in a car accident, and he thought that she drove her car into a tree, and an ice, yeah, like an ice point, or what it's called, an ice block, fell on his wife's head, and that's a caution of the real caution of death. Now, there is a moment when the killer shows Chief Arnold, who's already a little bit unhinged. Um, Dina, who he knows very well, is looking after his son, Max. And meanwhile, she's also getting harassed by this killer. In the same way Emily was harassed. But it's gonna be a spoiler. I'm gonna spoil the shit out of this. So, fair warning. Now he sees a video with his wife, and you see a hand, a gloved hand. And the wife sees who it is. Oh, help me, please help me. And then she takes the wife's head and starts banging the wife's head multiple times against the steering wheel, bloody and all. That's one of the more bloody kills. And apparently she was just bashed to bashed to death. And of course the chief, he was already unhinged. He wasn't over his wife's death, and he goes full mental breakdown, takes his gun, um, because there's a guy, one of those best friends, Chad and Willis, um, that are saying like they're like videotaping people, but for fun. And he comes in and he just rams this in the interrogation room. He rams he has this giant 44 caliber in his mouth. Guy's bleeding like hell. Think he lost a few teeth. But they have to let him go. They have nothing to do with the case. Not Willis, not Chad. There's also a force ranger, Elizabeth, who is friendly with Chief Arnold. Now, so I'm gonna spoil it, but before I spoil it, the movie basically has, a three-part movie. Okay, it's part one, part two, part three. Okay, the first and the last part of the movie are great. The middle part of the movie, it's it kind of from a slasher movie goes to a scavenger hunt, Seven style movie, a thriller more, and not so much a horror movie, a slasher movie. It's with the chief going after, and then you've got the good cop, bad cop. The good cop is this head deputy or something, and he's always, no, 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 don't do that, chief. And he says, fuck you. So, um, but what happens is the middle part is basically almost the same as the first part, right? The killer is doing the same MO, doing those, putting things where they're not supposed to belong, and and seeing him in the forest for a second, thinking, what, messing with her mind, with her mind, Dina. And like I said, the last part and the first part are good. The middle part is a little bit. I thought it was a little bit tedious. I thought it was boring a little. Well, it was a little bit boring in my opinion. But okay, that's my opinion. Um, so that's why it doesn't deserve a 5.9. I mean, 5.9 would be say 6. That would never. It's certainly worth a watch. That's a fact. Now, okay, so what? Who's the killer? I'm just gonna say that. Who's the killer? Apparently, um, Elizabeth, the forest ranger, is a killer. She's the one with the mask, a skeleton mask, not very original, but okay. And that's the twist. Chad is her boyfriend and is the one who's filming everything. So they're in cahoots. He also killed a few people. Um, I think he even killed Willis. So Chad and Elizabeth are the two killers. Now, Dina has been basically since her sister's dead, been planning this entire uh, integrate trap for these killers, and that she even um, starts to paint her face like a skeleton, and she fucks them over, but fucks them over like at some point she gets a shotgun bullet in the leg, then she gets away, and again she's away, and then she's through a walkie-talkie. Where am I? And then like this, and she's really, really, you know what I mean? And it's cool. It's really, really cool. And she did something I'm not sure, because at some point um, there is this moment in the movie that she gets fucked up all the way. There is a moment when she opens the door and there's this spray in her face, and it's like what poison is she's doing? And I mean, she's getting fucked over. It's a movie that you can say, yeah, kill that fucking bitch and that piece of little shit Chad too. Eventually, she gets caught because Chad, and that's he introduces himself and he tackles her. Okay, now she's sitting in the seat and she's sitting there, but very comfortably. She's still laughing and she still has a surprise for them. She's saying that, and they're completely paranoid. Chad is saying we should go, and Dina's Elizabeth says no. I want to have her on tape. So I can kill you like your sister, like I did your sister. And then she says, uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. But there's another person who, and and that was something clever. She basically filmed a lot of things, send it to the sheriff, basically send it what's happening now in the house, in his house with Max, before the killer went complete ape shit. Uh, so the sheriff eventually arrives and uh, shoots a fucking bullet through her head, and Chad gets a full. He gets he, he gets his head. No, wait. There's something, but there's something. She had this little trap made. I'm not sure what it was. I'm really not sure. I can't say what it was. You have to see the movie to see what it was. But he opens it and his head blows away. He's headless. Then the sheriff comes in. He shoots Elizabeth in the stomach area. She's still alive. And then he gives the gun to Dina, and she shoots her through the fucking head. And they're saying, okay, he says, we'll call backup. And no, she says, we shouldn't give her the satisfaction. Her 15 minutes of fame, being the Reaper killer. What we're gonna do is bury the bodies, and we're gonna destroy the tapes, and we're never gonna talk about this again, and let the people think they escaped and stopped. And that's what we are gonna do. Let them be forgotten in time completely. And that was a interesting. I mean, that was a cool thought. Yeah. So the movie, the acting's good. The like I said, part one and three is good, especially the satisfactory ending where she's home aloneing this killer, uh, but a little bit more violently. It's just great. Um, and even when she's caught, this Chad guy, yeah, what was it? Some kind of box and it poops in his face and his he loses his fucking head. Uh, Also a gory scene, and then she gets super angry, Elizabeth. But then the sheriff comes in and because she sent him. So what happened is Elizabeth was Dina was the one who was sending the tapes to the sheriff, so he could basically. It's a little bit maybe overkill, but so he could see how everything went, how his wife died because she was still alive. So the killer killed her, not the car crash. So he's now even more pissed. And then the last videotape is that tape, what's happening in his house. So there you go. Um, and that was a very interesting way of doing it. And you got a good atmosphere. It's a creepy atmosphere. That 80s feel, like I said, it has an 80s feel over it. It's always in the dark, snow, coldness. Um, the only the only time that I was a little bit was cringy was when the sheriff got angry and he overdid it. There are moments that wouldn't go. I mean, if he did that, he would have lost his job. The way he interrogated people, just slamming them and just fucking giving them a broken nose or something. I mean, that wouldn't. Yeah, because he's very unhinged because he lost his wife not so long ago, and yeah, so that was sometimes a little bit cringe worthy, but for the rest, he did a good job. Okay, um, so yeah, that's the only con I have. That and the mid part section, um, where they're basically doing the same shit what they did in the first part, but it's rinse and repeat. But then, of course, when she starts to, and that's part three, the third part of the movie, when she starts to do these, uh, these booby traps and this Home Alone kind of shit, that's the moment you really are gonna get what you paid for. Yeah. So give it a watch. It may entertain you, and it's different. It's different, but it gives you that 80s feel. I'm an 80s slasher nut. I still think the 80s are the golden times, and it's fun to see these directors trying to get it back because they know the 80s are the 80s, and then these were the movies, how silly, how cheesy they were filmed. They were captivating, and that's what it is. So see you Deuterinos for a next review. Bye bye.